Good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the commemoration of the 53rd founding anniversary of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Join us today as we celebrate our journey towards one caring and sharing community. Let us pay tribute to ASEAN through this simple ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, may we request you to please rise for the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by the Panunumpa sa Watawat by Ms. Nina Arquiza.
Panunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas. Ako ay Pilipino, buong katapatan nanunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas at sa bansang kanyang sinasagisag na may dangal, katarungan at kalayaan na ipinakikilos ng sambayan ng makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, to give us his message, let us please welcome the Honorable Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Teodoro L. Locsin, Jr.
Fellow citizens of ASEAN, I join the men and women of the Department of Foreign Affairs in extending my warmest congratulations on the 53rd founding anniversary of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Every year, our peoples come together on the 8th of August to celebrate the ASEAN's community's birthday and reaffirm our shared values, common aspirations, and the vision of a peaceful and prosperous region. We aspire for a politically stable, defensively secure, economically integrated, socially responsible, people-oriented, and always and ever a rules-based ASEAN applicable to everyone that uses its waters. ASEAN recognizes no primacy in a world of equals, not to mention a region of friends. As we entered 2020, we saw an ASEAN poised to bring substantial and inclusive growth and prosperity to its 650 million people. We were enjoying the fruits of a dynamic regional economy, ranked third in the world. Sure, Most of us were starting from farther down, but we were catching up. We were on the cusp of concluding the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, projected to be the largest trade agreement by population and GDP. More than ever do we hope that this still happens. Half a century after its founding, ASEAN had earned the recognition of major powers and other countries, many vying for dialogue partnerships. ASEAN was playing a central role in the emerging architecture of the region. In fact, no architecture other than a hegemonic one is conceivable without ASEAN as a linchpin at its center. ASEAN won't play second fiddle to any power in or out of the region. Then came COVID. Then it's anyone's guess where it all goes from here. But one thing is still assured. We are going there together. We are leaving none of ASEAN behind. We are getting out of the pandemic, some faster than others, but all together to bring about its end in each of our countries, throughout our region, and the rest of the world. If every country is not safe, no country can be. We are determined, indeed resolved, to hang together. Not to avoid hanging separately. We can do that. But we want a shared future for our region, rather than each of us going it alone at the mercy of the great powers. No one expects nor wants unity. We are a multiplicity of cultures and races. Unity is always acquired at the price of suppression. Unity is an imperialist prescription to be avoided at all costs. Instead, we, safely and wisely, seek a free union of common vital interests and one goal of a region of free and independent states with governments responsive to their peoples. None of them a satrap of a great power, not so much separated as held together by the life-giving element of water. Guided by this year's prescient theme of cohesion and responsiveness, ASEAN adapted to the COVID challenge and took advantage of opportunities for cooperation and collaboration. From our ASEAN neighbors alone came testing kits, a polymerase chain reaction machine, and medical supplies with more coming. Existing ASEAN mechanisms such as the ASEAN +3 Emergency Rice Reserve and the ASEAN Coordinating Center for Humanitarian Assistance on Disaster Management were activated to provide donations of 950 metric tons of rice and personal hygiene kits. Hunger riots are the most to be feared from the pandemic. Vietnam has been most generous to the Philippines. As we focus on restarting our economy, we are guided by the Hanoi Plan of Action on strengthening ASEAN economic cooperation and supply chain connectivity. In building back, the ASEAN response is to support micro, small, and medium enterprises, which account for most jobs in the region, many of which are owned by women, the more dependably responsible and hardworking gender. If we want to rebuild a resilient ASEAN, women must have the priority their high sense of responsibility, untiring industry, inventiveness, talent, and track records as builders deserve. Commemorations invite reflection and reconsideration. Here's a chance to recalibrate programs and activities in the face of new threats and challenges, and the extreme likelihood of their regionally destructive recurrence. So let's take this moment to renew our resolve, to build a community responsive and cohesive, to sustain a region that provides opportunities for all ASEAN citizens across the social and economic spectrum, reaching back to give the most help to those farthest behind. We have worked to build the ASEAN community in the past 53 years. I look forward to taking part in our continued integration to 2025 and beyond. Long live ASEAN.
Thank you very much, Honorable Secretary Locsin, for your inspiring message. And now, to speak about the ASEAN Year of Identity, let us please welcome Her Excellency Assistant Secretary Juniver M. Mahilum West.
Good morning. I'm Juniver M. Mahilum West, Assistant Secretary of the Office of ASEAN Affairs of the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Director General of the ASEAN Philippines National Secretariat. I extend my warmest greetings to all ASEAN citizens as we commemorate the 53rd founding anniversary of ASEAN and mark our journey towards a people-oriented, people-centered, and rules-based community. 2020 is identified as the ASEAN Year of Identity, an important aspect of community building that promotes kinship and ownership among ASEAN's 10 member states. One can observe many cultural commonalities among us in Southeast Asia. Despite our diversity, there are similarities in rituals, ceremonies, food, language, even musical instruments. Music and dances abound, built upon interactions that have taken place over hundreds of years through trade, migration, alliances, and even marriages. But while our commonalities are old and abiding, the ASEAN community only took its first steps 53 years ago. And as we matured and aspired for greater integration, we enshrined in our ASEAN Community Vision 2025 our deepening desire for regional security and peace, an integrated economic market, and a united community with shared values and beliefs. The ASEAN Charter upholds principles that all its member states hold dear: mutual respect, peace and security, prosperity, non-interference, consultation and dialogue, adherence to international law and the rules of trade, democracy, freedom, the promotion of human rights, unity and diversity, inclusivity, and ASEAN centrality in conducting external relations. These building blocks of the ASEAN community all work together to provide a better future for ASEAN citizens and calls for a conscious cultivation of a culture of care for our neighbors, for the other, or as we Filipinos say, our kapwa, a word imbued with the sense that oneself is not different from our neighbors. COVID-19 has forced us to examine the ties that bind our region. Geographically, shared borders and seas require close vigilance in the time of a pandemic due to increased mobility among our people. As a region that has vowed to integrate, we have the responsibility to protect one another, not just because of our proximity, but because we belong to one community. I am proud of ASEAN's early response to COVID-19 when it was only emerging in January. Learning its lessons from SARS in 2003, the community worked together to appropriately respond to the virus, allowing the region to enforce measures that mitigated the spread of the pandemic. The Philippines thanks ASEAN member states for their financial support and aid in the form of medicines, testing kits, and PPEs, as well as the technical assistance they've provided to the country's national efforts to respond to COVID-19. This is what it means to be a community, always at the ready to provide support in crucial moments. This is not the first crisis that ASEAN has faced, and it will not be our last. As we continue to build our community, all the more that we must work together to prepare the region for future challenges and to continue to care for one another. Our survival and our success depend on our cooperation, and cooperation is bolstered by our sense of identity as brothers and sisters in ASEAN. We are kapwa to one another. There is no distinction between us and the other. The other is us. On the occasion of ASEAN's anniversary, I call for a renewed sense of purpose and vigor in making ASEAN Vision 2025 a reality. Let us continue to work together in laying the foundation for a strong, resilient, caring, and sharing community. Mabuhay!
ASEAN friends collaborated to sing and perform in this music video, We Are Unity, to promote unity and fighting the COVID-19 pandemic together. The song conveys a message of friendship and encouragement. The best thing that we can do together to decrease the spread of COVID-19 is to stay home.
Stay home.
Stay home. Stay home.
នៅផ្ទះ
Stay home.
Ibanda. Duduk rumah.
Stay home.
อยู่บ้าน
Stay home.
Stay home.
Stay safe, ASEAN.
I have a dream of what I wanna be. I wanna be free. That's what my heart keeps telling me.
Give me your hand, we'll find a way. There are people out there that feel the same. And if we help each other, I just know we can succeed.
We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl.
Come together and share our dream. We'll be among the stars, and we know that it's destiny. We are unity. We are unity.
I do believe, oh, I believe in destiny. It's up to me to make it into reality. Give me a hand, we'll find a way. There are people out there that feel the same. If we help each other, I just know we can succeed. We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be among the stars, and we know that it's destiny that we are unity. No matter where you're from or who you are,
If we can find a common place to be, then we are friends. Oh.
we are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. Ooh. We are one, but we are different. We're from all around the world. We share the same sun, we share the same oceans. We are every boy and girl. Come together and share our dreams. We'll be among the stars, and we know that it's destiny that we are unity. We are unity.
We are unity.
This ends our commemoration of the 53rd anniversary of ASEAN. The Office of ASEAN Affairs thanks everybody for joining us this morning to honor the region's continued efforts to build a politically cohesive, economically integrated, socially responsible, and a people-oriented, people-centered, and rules-based ASEAN. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay!
Happy 53rd ASEAN Day.
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 In commemoration of ASEAN Month, we invite you to witness or participate in awareness-raising activities. The ASEAN emblem will be displayed at the SM Mall of Asia Globe LED from August 8 to 14 from 6 to 7 p.m. Every Thursday of August at 10 a.m., the Sama-Sama ASEAN webinar series will discuss how ASEAN's education, culture, and economic sectors are dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, live streamed through the Facebook pages of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, PCOO, the Philippine Information Agency, PTV, and the DFA. You can use the ASEAN at 53 Facebook frame to update your profiles and download the ASEAN 2020 sticker pack for free through Viber. Please use the hashtags WeAreASEAN and ASEAN at 53 when posting and sharing ASEAN-related posts. We look forward to having you in our events. This has been Anito Cabrera of the Office of ASEAN Affairs, your master of ceremony for this morning. Happy 53rd anniversary, ASEAN.